He's a great friend of the show. He's very generous with his time. He's also calling this game tonight for ABC Radio. That is the Panthers hosting the Storm. The former Penrith and Canberra and Warriors coach Matt Elliott joins us. Welcome back, mate.
G'day, Martin. How you going?
I'm bloody good. I'm obviously upset and I'm distressed and I'm angry and I'm annoyed at what the Warriors have produced this year. But let's park that for a second. Before we talk about this game, which could be a grand final preview tonight, Benji Marshall inaugurated into the NRL Hall of Fame alongside Mark Graham, Stacey Jones and Ruben Wicke. He's only one of 4 Kiwis. What an honour for him and thoroughly deserved, Matt.
Yeah, we all know that Benji, not only was he a great player, he actually changed the way the game was played, and I think he also impacted participation in the game because so many kids loved Benji in that time. So that's a fairly big accolade, isn't it?
The other thing with as far as those that have been named to go into the Hall of Fame goes, Daryl Broman says it's an absolute travesty that Les Boyd is named. How do you sit on this? Do you look at a guy's career and go, okay, he did this, he did all this other stuff? I mean, how do they assess that?
Yeah, look, I find it very difficult to argue, with Daryl there. And I was a massive Les Boyd fan as a kid, but some of the things that he did, you can't swerve around. Like he broke Daryl's jaw. And it wasn't as though it was an accident. And we just had a biting issue recently, and that Les actually participated in that a couple of times. So, yeah, I find it hard to argue with it, albeit I was a massive fan. So, you know what I mean? I sound like I'm walking through the middle of the park here, but yeah, I have to agree. I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Panthers versus Storm tonight. When you look at the stats, they both played 20 games. The Storm are ahead 38 points to 36 on the points table. Storm have won 16, lost 4. The Panthers 15 and 5. 169 points differential for Melbourne and 164 for Penrith. So they're basically neck and neck. Penrith are coming 5 in a row and 4 of those with Nathan Cleary back. It's got all the makings of just a brilliant game tonight, doesn't it?
You can't help but be excited about this game. And yeah, by all accounts, Dylan Edwards and James Fisher-Harris will also be playing tonight. And it's for me, it's this one will decide the minor premiership. And anyone who says they know who's going to win this game, I want to work out how they actually do that. Right. Because this is the for and against that you just shared there, and the season that these two teams have had. That just sums up one. The belief of the players in their system of play and the mentality that they have around the execution of it. They're just a joy to watch.
Yeah, Matt, I mean, there are other teams there who can legitimately say, hey, pump the brakes on that. We have a chance as well. And I'm obviously talking the Roosters and the Sharks. I mean, they're hot and cold, it seems, but they're right there in 4th spot, and they've been in the top for all season. The Bulldogs are coming on a bit of a tear. But these two teams, just like Penrith and Brisbane last year, do you see them being demonstrably better than every other team?
Yeah, that's such a difficult question to answer, because when you go through teams individually and you look at their skill set and the talent of the teams, no, they're not that much better. What makes them better is their belief in each other, the belief in their systems of play, and how they just don't ever lose their direction as far as their mentality goes. But look at Penrith's last couple of wins. That sums it up for me. There's no way that they could have come back and won that game last week after being down by 14 points. That's not possible. But are you surprised they did it? No, because they've done it before. And, I believe that that's a great example of Penrith. And I think what Craig Bellamy's done with this Melbourne team's just incredible, to be honest.
A couple of weeks ago, they lost to St George, and that was the A team that was out on deck there. Is that a chink in the armour of Melbourne, or is that just one of those results which does happen in a round-robin competition like this?
Look, yes to the last part of that, that question. But the other thing is that you've got to understand, and Craig Bellamy's been doing this for a long time, he will be loading his team quite heavily physically now. So in this period, they're coming into semi, so about a month out, they start loading them physically, because he knows that he wants them to be fresh in the semi-final period. And when you're 4 points ahead of the competition, you can afford to do that, right? Yeah. This is called, he's highly intelligent, because he's been doing this for 20 years. So he's getting his team fit and ready to go for the semi-final series, so that when they're there, he can freshen them up. He'll rest them a lot, and so that's what we saw there against St. George. And I'm a Dragons person, and I think the Dragons played really well that night, but I could see Melbourne were a touch tired as well.
Matt, with your coach's hat on finally, and Matt calling it tonight on ABC Radio, is there any chance at all that either of these teams go, oh, okay, we don't want to let them see everything, we don't want to fire our best shots at them, we might just hold back a little, or is this going to be absolutely full on tonight?
Yeah, you can say that, and I'm sure that they won't be. They've got some things up their sleeves that they'll start to really execute going into the semi-finals for sure. But you've got a group of young men going out on the field there, on equal top points. So you could say that they're going to keep some stuff up their sleeve, but you don't need that long a memory, Martin, to go, oh, okay. Yeah, they're probably just going to go at each other hammer and nail. So I believe that what we're going to see here is, while it won't be full execution, we're going to see, a full display of the mentality that's going to be on show during the semi-final series.
Just a bit of a left-of-centre question here, and we always talk to you about rugby league, but I know that, a man who loves his league as much as you do, you also love other sports. How cool with the Olympics, mate? And is every 4 years, do you get that same thing that I do? You just go, wow, you're watching sports you never really watch, and it's just joyous.
Mate, I couldn't agree with you more. It's funny coming into this Olympics because there wasn't I'm used to having so much fanfare around the Olympics, and there wasn't in Australia anyway. We knew they were coming, but all of a sudden, as soon as they started, everyone was absorbed in it. And it was just a treat to watch. And I've had a questionnaire with my daughters about, what if you could only watch one event, what would you watch? And it was just so hard to answer that. So it was just, I agree with you, mate. It was unreal.
Have a great call tonight. Best seat in the house, mate.
Yeah, it will be. Thanks so much for the call, and happy end of year to all the Warriors fans. And don't be too down because they're not far off. They're really not that far off.
Encouraging words. Thank you so much, Matt. Really appreciate your time as always. Matt Elliott with us. He's a former Penrith and Canberra and Warriors coach. And again, calling it on ABC Radio tonight.